What I was saying, you guys can hear me. This is an application that we're going to build today. I get a lot of requests for a copy of this app, and they want to build an app just like it. Okay, so we're going to build this application sort of from scratch, but not really. I want to start from a template because when I do live streams like this, I could spend a whole hour on the menu or like little um, things within my app that the live stream isn't necessarily on. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out of full screen mode, and this is the demo of this app. Let's look at the ERD diagram for this, and I'll zoom in a little bit. Now the inspection, each row within this database table would be considered an inspection. Okay, now here's another question, guys. Do you like the music? I try to go with like chill music. I don't want it to be distracting. I wanted instrumental. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of that. But so as an inspection occurs, well, we have answers that users provide, and those answers are tied to specific questions that come up in a, let's say, a gallery, and then they answer those. And then the questions can be separated within categories. Okay, so we have tables for all these things. Now this particular application has to do with cars, staff, and customers. So a customer will bring in their car. Let me move this stuff around a little bit. Now a car will belong to a customer. So let's go in here and let's add in here customer ID. And move that down there. Very good. And an inspection is done on a car. It's associated with a customer. And then we have staff members that are actually performing the inspections. Okay. So let me know if you guys have any questions about this ERD diagram. Okay, now where will I be starting? Because I'm not starting from scratch. I'm starting from our school template. Now, I run 5 school communities. 4 of them have to do with Power Apps. There's one about the Microsoft stack. It's becoming popular, but this one right here. Okay, if you guys want to get at the template and everything I build with this template, join that. I'll just let you know, right? It is a paid. I started off at $1 a month, which I thought was really reasonable, and I left it that way for quite a while, and then I've gradually just moved it up. And I think I'm gonna. It's right now at $25 a month. Now that there's a lot of value in the template, and whatever amount you get in at, you're locked in at. So if you get in now, you'll only pay $25 a month from here on out, unless you drop and then come back, and then you have to come in at whatever price it's up to. But there's a lot of, I would say probably 100 out of the 150 came in at the $1 a month or $2 a month. But I will be posting all of that here, but I'm also going to be using the template that we've been building inside this group. And every Monday night we get together at 4 p.m. Eastern, and we go to 6:30 Eastern. So 2.5 hours we build onto this each week. And so it happens to be today we're building onto it as well. Now, what I did with that template was I did a save as. Okay. I did a save as, and I called it Checklist Inspection App. So now we can work from here. Okay. And I would like to change the colors, because if we go to the home screen, you'll notice, let's do a Control-0, or I can just run it, Now I do like going with this canvas size. Okay. I don't know that I want purple for this type of application. In fact, I'd like to sort of stick with the design that we have here, like a black and blue. I do like that. Okay. So I'm going to bring some of these windows back here. So we have an ERD diagram. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to share a link with you guys that you guys might find very helpful. And it's in the video description. Okay, this is it. And I'll actually paste this in the chat as well. So you have that. Now, if you look, here's the ERD diagram, and I've embedded that link right there. So you can actually see it here. Maybe I'll zoom out a little bit. Okay, something you'll see below is we did all this in SharePoint. So here's all of the tables. And if you want to recreate those tables, you can do so there. Now I'm going to perform a shortcut in creating all these tables. So I have some built-in capabilities within this application template to dynamically create SharePoint sites and lists and columns and all that stuff. So this should be a very exciting session, guys. All right, so I'm going to go down to, we do have some dev screens down here. I'm going to hit Control-0. And I might, let's go use F11 here and run it. Okay, so what I have here, this particular screen allows me to create a brand new SharePoint site within this tenant. I do have a question. It's a little unrelated, but it's going to be a very quick question for me to answer. What do you think about the PDF experimental function? Would be a good decision for a production app. Now, if you're going to err on the side of safety, I'd say no. If you don't want to use any type of preview stuff in production, but my question is, as I'm the developer working with, let's say, an experimental feature or a preview feature, might ask myself, well, what's the worst thing that could happen? And you may not know what the worst thing that could happen. So you might want to talk to your manager or whatever about it. Like, hey, perhaps the worst case that could happen with the PDF function, let's say, didn't work right. So it didn't generate a good looking PDF or generated garbage or something, So just sort of keep that in mind when you're working with an experimental feature. Not all experimental features are created equal. Some really are experimental, while some are, fairly fleshed out. That's all. That could come down to speculation. So to err on the side of safety, I'd say no. But if you want to be optimistic, that would be up to you, and you would accept the liability of that decision yourself, of course. All right. So we have here the root URL. Now, how did this application know what the root URL for the SharePoint is? Well, let's click on this text box. Oh, look, we have an FX root SharePoint URL. Okay. Okay, so if you ever see FX, that's an indication, at least if you're looking at one of my apps, it's going to be in formulas. Okay, so there's all kinds of good code in here that you might want in all your applications. So I'm going to go do a search for that. I'm going to copy that, go into app, formulas. I'm going to do a Control F to find it. I'm going to paste. There it is. Now, what does this do? Guys, I've got a great surprise. Something that I believe that you guys will really like. I'm going to get out of full screen mode and show you something I created in GitHub. Okay, so here you look at Power Apps Darren. There is a project called Power FX Snippets. Okay, and if you go into like things I would want in app formulas, go into that. Look at this. So here is a code snippet. It creates a label. And then here in the comments, it says, hey, you should probably add it to your app formulas. And this is it. And it's gonna require that you have Office 365 users connector in your project. Okay, so I'm going to add in connectors into this template that I believe any app would probably need. Maybe not all. But it's got so many useful features that we can call on It's a great thing to use. Okay. So it's using this Office 365 users to go find. I'm going to go back over to GitHub here. It looks at my profile, then my site. Now, make sure you use V2 because the one that just says my profile without the V anything will not have the my site. And you guys might look at the code. This is the code that is all extrapolated out, unpacked. Okay. You might look at this like, oh my goodness, this could have been a lot, quicker, easier, or more efficient, or, you may not like it. Well, you could write your own, of course, but I went through it thinking that if Microsoft changes anything, like they've got a little my in there. So let's go take a look at this, what this would look like, what it returns. And I'm going to go get the code. Actually, you know what? Let's just copy this whole thing. This is how easy this is, guys. You copy this, you go in here, I right click and I paste it, code. Look, there is a label that shows the root. Now, question is, did I set up so if you click on it, we'll open it up? Yeah, it does. All right. So that's really easy, huh? But yeah, you just put this into your your app.formulas. Okay. So I'm going to keep up with the comments here. Darren, I see you can create SharePoint lists. Do you know if it's possible to make Dataverse tables as well? I'm fairly certain that you can. Yeah. I haven't done that yet. That was something that I was going to build into my my database generator, my database creator. I wanted to focus on Dataverse, but I haven't gone down that avenue yet, so I can't give you a lot of details on that yet. Okay. Just a warning, Office 365 users needs connectivity to function properly. If the user is not connected, it will throw an error. You would need to use the user function with its built-in limitations. Well, first of all, I thank you for that, Dustin, because this initiates some good discussion. So yeah, if you start to use this template and you try to load it up into Power Apps, let's say, hey, are you going to allow this app to use these connectors on your behalf? So if I hover over Office 365 users, you see there is my email address. So if I'm connected, so you'll need to connect. But in my mind, if you're using Power Apps, you have an M365 account. I can't imagine a scenario where you're using Power Apps and you don't have an M365 account. So yeah, they will need to connect. So in creating my Jumpstart kit, I had no outside dependencies on any connectors. And also the Office 365 Outlook, you're going to have to connect to that as well. Okay. So it's good to hear what Dustin said here, but in my mind, you're going to have an account anyway. So, why not connect it? Now, you also might need to think about your users, so I'm trying to think, like if you're creating a kiosk app, maybe not all users will have an M365 account, or they'll have a special 365 account. Oh, okay. So Dustin says, I meant cell or Wi-Fi connection for the user. Okay. So there are disconnected capabilities within Power Apps. So yeah, if you're creating a disconnected application, that might cause some errors. Absolutely. And they start to use the app and they're not, they're not connected, then yeah. Okay, Darren, can you throw up the ERD diagram for the app user and app version info as well? Would be sweet. Okay. So let me see if I can find that real quick for you, Kenneth. And I'm going to go look at, here's a schema builder. app user, app versioning history. I think this is what we used for the user. And what I can do is provide this link here. And I am going to go down here at the bottom. I think I have Obsidian up here. And I'm going to click on ERD diagram. Let's try to embed this. So I'll copy that. What do you guys think of the music? Is it nice? A nice addition, or does anybody like not care for it? Okay, so I'm gonna go down here a little bit. Okay, I probably need to maximize this. There we go. And I will paste that and make sure we got a carriage return before and a carriage return after. I think I will get rid of that sidebar. I'm having a hard time scrolling down here. All right. So there's our table listing. Okay. Yeah. Thanks for the tip about signing up for M365 Business User license to get Power Platform at a minimal cost since they suspended the free platform. Yeah. For $6 a month. Yeah. You can get your own tenant. If you guys want to know how to set up your own tenant, go over here to the Microsoft stack, and I've got some good content here about setting up your own tenant. So, and it's a free community for now. So yeah, get in while it's free. Kenneth says music is nice and it distracts me a little. Yeah. And something I can do is probably turn that down a little bit. And I'm sure it would vary from user to user on the taste or the preference on the volume and stuff. So it doesn't look like I have a lot of control over the volume. Okay. So a tenant setup. So I walk you through domain setup. I had Kurt with me when we did this, and yeah, we went through every step of the way. It's really good material. You might want to check it out. And so Kenneth, hopefully that second ERD diagram was the one you were looking for. And you guys aren't going to be able to see these updates until I publish. So let me publish these things here. Done. I don't know that it got all of them though. Let's make sure all these are in there. Okay, publish. Okay. Okay, so Kenneth is also looking for the app versioning. Something that I can do is, I've got a volume mixer. Maybe I can. Okay, I can control Chrome volume. So I turned it down a little bit. Hopefully that is good for everyone, the music volume. Okay, so the app versioning. Let's go back home. And I'm hoping that I have one for the template that's got the trying to get into this one. It looks like it's working. Nope, that doesn't seem to be it. Okay, perhaps we need to create one, Kenneth, ERD diagram for the app versioning. So if you guys have been following along with this new template that we've been building together in that school group, we do have this database table and for app users. So let's go in there and check this out. I'm going to go into settings. Okay. And there it is. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, maybe go full screen. Okay. And I'll do a screenshot here so you guys can get at that. Very good. Now, if I go back to site contents, we have the app user. Let's go look and see what's in here. Okay, we got a few people. Let's go into the list settings and look at this. So just in case you want to create these database tables, these SharePoint lists, sometimes there's a part of me that cringes whenever I call a SharePoint list a database table. Yeah. Okay. Kenneth says thanks. Yeah, you're welcome. Okay. Now we need to get back to this app and the task at hand. Otherwise, we're going to be falling behind here. Okay. So, what should we do at this point? We've got that. We've got that. Let's go look at the app itself that we have here that we're trying to replicate. Okay, so these are all the different things. So we've got, before an inspection can take place, we have to have cars, and cars belong to customers. So we need all these type of things. And then a staff does the inspection, or a user does an inspection. Okay. All right, so let's try to generate that first screen there. And I wonder if I could do this. If I could select all of this, that would be neat. I'll go over to the tree view, and I don't want the spinner included. And then I'm going to right click on this and copy the code. And let's create a new screen. I think I've got to right click here and say paste. Everybody cross your fingers. I'm not sure what's going to happen here. Yeah. So there's some work to do. I'm not sure that I really like that. I'd almost like to take one of our screens that we have here, and the screen that I would want to start with is a screen like this. This screen is done. It handles the app versioning for the application. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this. It might take a little while. Yeah, the music really helps out. We're sitting here waiting for Power Apps to do something, huh? Wow, it's taken a long time. Okay, we finally gave it to us. All right. So the screen, we'll use this app right here, sort of like the wireframes of what we want to build. Okay. So let's say we want this image. Now, how can I download an image that I have in here? Let's go over to multimedia, and I'm hoping it's going to allow me to download an image. Nope, it's not going to allow it. And this picture is this guy right here. Yeah. I'll show you how to get at these images really easily. I don't know how. Let's say we'll download a copy of this MS app file. And let's not put that there. Let's go to a different location. MS app. I'll create one for the checklist inspection app. And save it there. Okay. Now I'm going to open up that folder, and I'm going to show you how I would handle this. I'm going to try to get rid of all my clutter off there. And an MS app file is actually a zip file. Okay, so I'm going to rename this. I'm going to take out MS app. I'm going to say zip. Do we want to zip it up? No, we want to unzip it. So here within Windows, I can see I can extract all, which gives me this window. I'll extract it. Bada bing, bada boom. We should have a new folder. Okay, look at all this stuff. I'll go into assets. What do we have in assets? Images. What do we have there? Oh, there's all of our images. Isn't that nice? Yeah, thanks, Wendy. Yeah, you really like the new layout? Very cool. Thanks for the feedback. And also, Kenneth seems to like it as well. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to move this up. And now what I can do, I can move this around. What we can do is we can start ripping everything out that doesn't have to do with the checklist inspection app, because there's a lot of screens in here that we really don't need. But I at least want to get our images up here. So I'm going to say upload. And I'm going to move this off the screen. Okay, adding all those in there. Okay. Now this screen, I'd really like to move it all the way up there if I can. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through here and delete. So here's the home screen. This is a profile screen. We could actually use that for this app. This allows users to update their M365 information. Now this is a list and edit screen. Now there are a few things that aren't quite right with this, and it's very subtle. You see all these weird lines? I don't like that. I'm gonna rip it out. I'm gonna delete it. Gone. Okay. I don't know that we need to do a lot with colors. I'm gonna delete it. Sometimes it feels horrible when you are deleting things that took a long time to create, but I do have another project with them all in there, so no worries there. Delete. Something else I'll show you guys. If you check out my repository here of code snippets, if you go into app on air, I've got some code that will trap all errors within your application and email them to you. How cool is that? And it will send you an email that looks like this with all these little columns: what screen it happened on, what user it happened with, the date, timestamps, and as much information that could be added in there. Okay, so you guys might want to check that out as well. All right. Okay. Let me go back here, and we're still ripping things out. Here's a theme I was considering. but we're not messing with themes today. So I'll be ripping all this out. And so for those of you who are in this school community, you will be able to download this app when we're done with it today. And Kenneth will make sure I get it uploaded and I don't forget. It's on you, Kenneth. All right. So yeah, that's another theme I was checking out. Yeah, you don't need a lot of these screens. Okay, so this is that versioning. So I'm going to take this and actually move it up almost to the top. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say template. New screen, because I don't want to have to duplicate something down here and move it back up and do all that type of stuff. Now something looks very off. Yeah, Justin mentioned the all errors didn't seem to work. That is something that I was going over in the workshop yesterday and it wasn't working. And I'll have to look into that. But if we were to create a new screen, if you guys wanted to see that error handling in progress, check this out. So I'm going to add a button and I'm going to say notify. And I want to say 1 divided by 0. I'll run it. I'll hit the button. Champagne bells were coming across. Okay. I don't have any red squigglies or anything. And a lot of times the errors don't even come up in the app, but if I go to app on error, and you go through this code. I think I did it up here. Yeah. Clear on errors. See, there's no error there. Not only that, but I just heard an email come in, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So one of the problems is that it may not recognize it as existing, but once an error occurs, it will exist. And you'll notice up here in my code, I count the rows of all errors, and I count the rows of a collection that we use. And if you scroll down to the very bottom, you'll see a place. Let me bring up my source code here on the on error. Go and you can then download the MS app file if you want for that. Scroll down to the very bottom, and what you'll see down here are 2 lines of code. If you create a database table called Power Apps Errors and uncomment these 2 things, it will actually put all the errors in there. Okay. All right, so let's go back to our screen here. And this is a little odd. I don't know what happened to our text boxes there. You guys notice that? Update screen. Okay. I'm going to try to duplicate this one more time. Kenneth is watching me. When do the errors clear? Is it per session? I was getting emails with current and previous. Yeah, so if you look at the errors, and I didn't want to make this live stream too much about that errors thing. I was just sharing that with you guys. I might make it completely separate when I'm posted on YouTube. But if you look at the code, it clears it out, but it keeps all this stuff into a collection. Okay, so if you go into data sources, I don't think they show collections here anymore. If you go down to this, yeah, app errors. So it keeps a running total. So let's say this person just keeps getting errors, and I hear a bunch of emails come in, and I check the last one, I know that I'm going to see all of them for that person for that session. Yeah, I want to get a full listing. And then a better way of is to put it all into a database table and just go look at the database, or have a screen that will pull that up for you. Okay, so this one was duplicated and has got all the fields in there. So that looks a lot better than what we had here. So it looks like all the controls are there, but it seems sort of messed up. So I'm going to go to this screen and I'm going to grab the screen name and I'm going to delete this guy. Okay. Go down here and it's still there. Very good. And Brock says, good morning, everyone. And Justin says, I changed it to sort all errors by creation in descending order and store the date of the first record, which would be the most recent error. Okay, very good. Yeah, feel free to modify that code all you want. Now, I released the snippets under an MIT license, which is not very restrictive at all. So you can use it, change it. I'm just not responsible for. There's no warranty or any guarantee that goes along with this, as many open source applications will say. Okay. All right, so I've got this screen here, and as soon as I renamed it, yeah, okay, very good. Okay. I don't know why. Yeah, I think I'm going to delete a lot of this stuff. I don't need that stuff in here. Had a code generator in there. I don't need that. And I don't need that. Take that out. Let's go look and let's try to troubleshoot what's going on here, because if we look here, yeah, doing a responsive app, you got tons of containers that are all over the place and keep going on forever. It seems like I'm going to hold down Shift and use my mouse wheel. And we've got this guy, and let's look at the minimum width. Let's go look at the, no, I don't want that. Let's go look at the height. Okay, we have a LOC field height. Where is that set at? Okay. This is good that we looked into this, because this might be a bug that we need to address. There's a field height 62. So if I go off the screen and then come back, it should set all that up. Keyword should. Check the properties of the containers. The height is probably set to 1 after renaming. Very good. So here it's going to this. It says 62. Okay. Yeah, this is strange. So there's a height. Is there a minimum height? Oh my goodness, I hate this thing popping up all the time. I'm going to use that local variable, I think. LOC field height, which is 62. Oh my goodness. Stop it. How do I get Chrome to stop? I mean, this is Edge. Stop doing this. It thinks that this could be like a password or something. I don't know what's going on there. And we've got this guy. I have run across the issues you are referencing, Dustin, a few times. Check container 7.5. Okay, so I'm going to click on that guy. And let's look at the height of this one. Oh my goodness. Parent.height. Yeah, that seems to be fine. Okay. Minimum height, 100. What's funny is we've got this long description in there, and that's fine. What's so special about this guy here? Let's go down. Now we got fill portion 1 of 1. Dude, what are my fill portions for these? Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Yeah, this one's working great. I had the thought of making this not responsive, but I need a challenge from time to time, and perhaps there's some things I can learn from you guys. So you guys might have. Okay, I have seen this happen a lot when I rename containers. I would check the parents all the way up to see if any of them were set to 1. Okay. Now, what property? Is it going to be... Oh my goodness, I hate that. This height, stop it. Let's go to this one, minimum width. Yeah, and Justin's wanting to know what the issue is. So let's contrast. I have a nice screen here that I'm going to reuse. I'm not going to try to recreate this over and over again. I'm going to take the best one I have, which is this one, and I copied it. So I'll show you when we duplicate this screen. And at first it looks fine. Okay. And then when I rename the screen, I think that's when it ripped it all out. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll go check out height in just a moment. Obviously I can't do anything right now. Yeah, okay. So you see this one? This is a new one, and it looks fine. Now, if I say my new screen, watch what happens. Gone. That's a little weird. I would have to say. So I'm going to go and I'm going to try to figure this out. Now I am going to stop sharing my video just for 1 second. And adjust my ceiling fan. And adjust my AC a little bit here. Okay. Oh, look at that. Height is 0. What is going on? Do you see that, guys? Look at that. But this thing has 62. All right, I'm gonna copy that. I'm gonna put 62. Oh my goodness, that is so strange. Oh. So I go off the screen and come back. That local variable should be reset. Okay, I'm gonna cut that, move it up to the top. Okay, there's that field height. Now I wonder if I go back in there. height, and I give it that local variable. Oh, it disappears. Oh, now it's blank. Wow. Guys, that's really strange. What is resetting that? Okay. I'm going to copy that code. I'm going to add over a button. We'll do it live. I'll click on that button. Oh, and everything pops up now. So what is going on? That code, that code here doesn't seem to be running. Now, what's an LOC data source? No data found. I wonder maybe there was an error and then it didn't do these other ones or something. It's the strangest thing. LOC data source doesn't have any data in it. Oh, we set it all up here. That's when we had temporary data before we created the data source. Okay, so now I'm going to say app version info. Okay, that should fix things a little bit. Yeah, so there was a bug. This was causing a problem. It's so wild. Okay. I am going to hit Control A, Control C, and I need to make sure that this screen is set up properly. This data version history. And I'm going to say Control A, Control V. And now we're looking at that one. Okay, very good. What about setting up in app formulas instead? That's an excellent idea. That's an excellent idea. I think what I was trying to do is I was working on one screen at a time and just trying to get the screen to work. But yeah, that would actually be now. Yeah, field height. See, the thing is, this field height was specific to this one because we had these controls, like this label. Well, if I can scroll in here and we look at the height, it's 30. And then you look at the height of this guy and it's 32. And I was thinking it might be specific for this screen, but maybe not. Maybe this is the paradigm moving forward. This is what we're going to do. But it's the height of the container in which it sits. So let's do that. Okay. Let's go up to app formulas. Thanks for the suggestion, Dustin. That's good. It's an excellent suggestion. Now, one thing that bothers me about the app formulas, I'm going to end up having, first of all, we need line numbers in here, right? And then, this just becomes this big thing that's got like tens of thousands of lines of code. At least, I'm going to put tons of stuff in here. And you gotta have some way of ordering this, otherwise it's going to become a mess. Okay, so the name of my local variable is called LOC field height. So I'm going to go back up here and I'm going to create it right here at first. And I'm going to call it FX container field height. Ooh, what happened? No. Okay. And I'm going to say equals 62. Now, screen padding, gutter, app constants, app users, app roles, menu items. What about, well, there's two icons. Take that out and just have one there. I had all of Matthew Devaney's 2000 icons in a collection in App Formulas, and I think it was 17,000 lines of code. I copied and pasted it over in Notepad++. It was a bit much. So let's see what we have here. We have app theme. I just want to make sure I don't have something down here. Look, container defaults. Yeah, that's sort of where I'd like to have it. Container defaults. Yeah. So I'm going to double click here. And I'm going to cut that as well. Do Control F, Windows V to get this one. Field height. $62. Okay. Now where'd my nice music go? Maybe it right out there. Okay, there we go. So we'll use that. We'll go back to our screen. If you use the container defaults on the larger containers, it will shrink all of them that need to be bigger. Okay. Very good to know. All right, so I'm going to do this, and I'm going to say field height. That's what it is, field height. Okay. So I'm going to take that. Go find the other one. I'm going to copy that. Refresh it. Template new screen. What do you think? Should we just let it rip and say replace all 34? I sort of want to, but almost every time there's something somewhere that will cause a problem. I don't like the fact that I can't see all of them. Okay, that helps. Yeah. Let her rip. Why not? Live on the edge. YOLO. Experience is what you get when you don't get what you want. Yeah, now we can take that out. Okay. All right. Now let's see, what other errors do we have? Oh, we only have 103 errors. I'm not going to address those. Okay. I think we're good for okay, so that is working right. And I don't like this button there anymore. Okay. Template, new screen. Now I want to move this up. If I can. Microsoft, if you're listening, I need a keyboard shortcut to move these things, or it'd be nice to drag these things around. Okay, so there's a new screen. Man, our momentum is really suffering, but I hope you guys are having fun. Yeah. Yeah, we can go by and check all the other screens. I think it's going to have the same type of thing here where we don't need this anymore. But I would like this code to be at the top. Okay. All right. So this is our new screen. And what we're going to do here is we're going to replicate this stuff. Okay. So this one will be like a dashboard showing all the inspections that are there. But we don't have our databases set up yet. So let's go set up our databases. I'm going to go through, delete. This is a little screen I did. Guys, if you're in the template group, you can, I did all the ASCII characters. I got inspiration from Matthew Devaney, and he did something like that. I'm like, wow, looks cool. All right, take that out. This one I was using for attachments. I can take that out. Yeah, this is the screen that I wanted to create a brand new SharePoint site for. Okay, and I'm going to call this checklist inspection application. And you see it created all this for me. That looks good. And I'm going to click on this create site. Now what's underneath that button? It's a call to a flow, a power automate flow. Okay. And now I'm going to go look for it's not showing me, but it did open it up in a new window. Here it is. This is the new site. Isn't that cool? I love that little flow. Yeah, we did I think we did a whole workshop on that, if I'm not mistaken. Yesterday's workshop was on moving code from your app on start to app formulas. So that's what we did yesterday. And then what I was going to say here. Yeah, it was workshop 20, dynamically creating data sources. Okay, so here it is, and it's called Checklist Inspection App. Now, I don't see it there. That means perhaps it needs to be refreshed. So I'm going to add an icon here. Nope, I'm going to say icon. I'm going to bring over anything, any icon, and then I'll go over here and say reset. That's the one I wanted. And the code that goes to get all the latest sites is right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that code and put it in the on select here. I'm going to save. I'm going to run. I'm going to hit that button. So now we should see. Why don't I see that? There it is. You know what? We knock out bugs here on this channel. That's what we do. If you didn't see me run across all these problems and issues, you might, as you have them, which is normal, you might think that maybe Power Apps or software development isn't for you. So this is really odd. If I go back to create new site, I'm looking for my checklist inspection app, but I'm not seeing it. That might be a problem because I say, hey, create these lists. And it uses this particular site's URL. I think maybe it just takes a little while for it to happen, perhaps, for it to show up in that. So in that case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go get the URL. Okay. And I'm going to click on this little square here and I'm going to get the URL. Okay. And then over here, I'm going to add in a text input. I do not like the modern controls yet. And I'll look at this DRP sites. Is that what it's called? Yeah. .selected .url. And let's make this much wider. And I'm going to paste in my own URL there. And let's look at the height of this. It's 40. So as I move this, it should still say 40 when I'm done. And you see that we've got checklist inspection app, even though I couldn't find it there. So when I click on this, I want it to go look at this text box, txt SharePoint site URL. And when I click on this button, it's going to use this instead. Okay. Now are these all the lists that we need? I almost don't like the word inspection to be all throughout this. Let's go look at our ERD diagram. I'm going to change this to answers. Okay, answers. And over here, we're going to say, everything should be singular though, because the table name represents what a single record from that table would be called. Okay. And I'm going to call this question category. And if you guys don't mind, I think I'm going to, it's not that I need a snack. Sometimes if I don't eat in the morning, I start to feel a little nauseated. So I need something in my, of course I don't need to talk with while I'm chewing. All right, question category. So, Fahim, hopefully I pronounced your name right. I probably didn't. I apologize. Can you please share the link of your starter kit? So my Jumpstart kit is, I've lowered the price because I've created this other group here and we're building a new one. But if you want the one that I've had out there for a while, it's nice, it's polished, but I started updating it this week. Started doing that yesterday in the workshop. So the links to get at it, let me go over to school. And right now, guys, there is a July special. We're almost done with July. So at the end of July, I'm cutting this off. So it was from July 4th to the end of the month. So for the longest time, I was selling it for $4.79. You get all of this for, and this was a play like the 7th month. There's the 4th, and there's the year 24. So that was signified in the date. Okay, so if you want that, I'll share this link with you. I'm trying to think where else. If you go into the crash, now the crash course is free. Okay. And let's see here. Here is a link to get it, and I did lower the price. Okay, so let me copy this if you want that. Now, if you want the template that I've been working with here, all you have to do is sign up for this community, which is just $25 a month. And if you want to, you can just sign up for 1 month and then cancel, and you'll have access to the whole month. Okay. Same thing for the workshops. You get access to all the workshops that month and all of the replays and all that type of stuff. Okay. All right. So let's go back. And I don't want the words in inspection in there anymore. But we will have question category. Cars, customers, answers, question category, questions, inspection, and staff. Now, I almost like what we did with the org chart. With all this stuff. I think this is a great way of so I might call this app user. Or it could be, maybe they're not a user, maybe they're just a person in your organization. You know, so if I go to site contents, you notice it's a pretty bare SharePoint site. So staff is fine. It would cover users and people who aren't users, so that's fine. I don't like this text box flashing every time I hover over it. So I'm going to say self.fill. That should fix that. Now what if I click on it? Yeah, it's fine. Okay, so yes, that is right, Dustin. Did I do that right? Inspection, car, customer, staff, answer, question category. Now, ooh, yeah, thanks for pointing that out, guys. This is why coding with other people is a good thing. Customer, car, answer, question. Thank you. I really don't like to rename anything in SharePoint. It seems to hold on to the old. Okay, so I got 3, 4, 5, 6. I got 7 tables here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So I'm going to click on this button, and it's going to create all these lists. Now it doesn't have the fields yet. Cross your fingers. Here we go. Is it working? Is it going? No, there's an error. Of course. Yeah, I need dot text, and now it should work. All right, here we go. Look at those champagne bubbles go. If you want to know what I'm eating, it's Metamucil. One of my accelerator students said to me, you're cool, you're as smooth as Metamucil. Metamucil has a lot of fiber in it, so people that need more fiber in their diet, which I do. Anyway, you guys don't want to hear about all that. All right, well, let's go over to the SharePoint list and see if it created everything that we wanted here. Now, this is weird. It seemed to have gone to the wrong website. Did I do something wrong here or what? I know it navigated to a different screen. Okay, let me go back there. Okay, we did a launch. Aha. Yeah, it did. So next time, yeah, we need to go with this right here. Ooh, no. This right here. There we go. You know what? It created it all on the wrong site because I did something wrong. Yeah. Yeah, the problem I had here was I created a new site for the checklist inspection app. You notice it's not there. I'm gonna try to refresh this again. See, the checklist inspection app isn't showing up there. That's the weirdest thing. I'm gonna hit back, go to site contents, and it did not create them here. Okay. Oops. Oops. All right, so we'll grab that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste that there. And I'm going to hit the button again. Okay. I'm going to go off to SharePoint here. And there we go. There's all of our lists. Very nice. Now, if you guys were to check this out, this URL here. Okay, so there's the ERD diagram. Now, if you go into the ERD diagram, there's the ERDs. But these are all of the fields that we need to create. All right. Okay, let's go back in here. And listing of all lists. Yeah, I need to select the list. And then over here, I could put all of the fields that I want to. This is interesting. Okay. Do I have do I have a flow that creates a site? This gets a listing of all the sites. I think what I will do is I'll refresh this. I don't know if that's going to help us out or not. Nope. That's really odd. Okay. Going back into the flows, we have SharePoint site get listing, SharePoint site create, SharePoint list get listing. Okay. Listing of lists. Now, did we go get that in the onVisible? No, we did not. So I'm going to do a search here and see if this is used anywhere in my application. Oh, this button. This button goes and gets it. Okay. I'm going to run that. I'm going to hit that button. Wow. Look at that. That's cool. I like it, Picasso. I don't know what this. Oh, it's the flow response. I don't need to see that. Okay. So what's in this collection? It probably just has that one field, right? Display name. Now, if I took that out, we need to put a comma there. I'm going to hit that button again, and then we'll get all of the data. Now, I don't see any. Try that again. There we go. Wow, it just was really fast. Okay, well, let's sort that. That seems like a lot of lists. Family scenarios. Oh, it's looking at that site. Gee whiz. Unbelievable. That's a bit of a pain, if you ask me. Let's go look at our Power Automate. That really bothers me. Does it bother you guys? You guys have gone radio silent on me. Okay, so I've got a list get listing. Okay, 1 minute ago. Get lists, parse JSON. Okay. Yeah, it looks right. You see this LOC SharePoint URL. I also need to put that over here. That should have been passed over. So I'm going to have like a little separate button, perhaps. Okay. Make sure that information is passed over. Unbelievable. And then this button, I'm going to use this. Go over here. Okay, cool. Thanks, Jason. Thanks for the input here. Okay, so we've got this. Now I want the LOC, SharePoint URL, to be there. Okay, and then I'm going to use that instead of that dot text. There we go. That looks a lot nicer, doesn't it? Yeah, I need to polish up these screens. There's a lot that needs to be done here, but I'm super excited about having screens that will automatically create my SharePoint sites, lists, and fields. Okay, so now I don't need to. Now it might be good to see this debugging or something, so I'll just make that invisible for now. What I will do is I'll just copy the normal way. I'll paste that. And I'm going to make this one visible. And for right now, I'm not going to have anything in there. So those gets the lists. Yeah, this code really should be in the screen on visible. So I'm going to put it there. Okay. So then we're going to select whatever field. So we'll start off with answer. Okay, I need to create a brand new flow. I don't think I have one that does this. That will actually create the fields. SharePoint site, SharePoint list, create. No, it is right there. No, that's the list. I need a field. SharePoint field. Yeah, okay. Let's do blank. I'm going to call this SharePoint field create. We're going to add a step. And I'm just going to see if it allows me to do this natively. Like create, we got create item, new folder. Do you see all this? Let me scroll down here. There we go. This might be the one that we end up using. List folder, get items, copy file. Yeah, I'd hate to configure the HTTP request if there's already one here. Create a new document. I guess what I should do is say create. Let's see what it comes up with create. See this. Well, all right, I'm going to use the HTTP request. Okay. Now, I use AI to help me out with these HTTP things here. So I'm going to tell it I need to use the HTTP request SharePoint connector in Power Automate to create a field. We'll do one field at a time. SharePoint list. Tell me how to build out this flow, especially for that particular connector. All right, so I am going to show this to you guys. Okay, so it's going to be a post. Now we need the URL to the SharePoint site. Okay, I'm going to share this with you guys. I'm going to throw it down there. Also, I should probably put that link in the show notes. Where is Obsidian? I'll post it right there. Okay. So we definitely need a SharePoint site URL. It's time for Red Bull. All right, so that will be passed in. What else needs to be passed in? Well, this is going to be a post, and the URI is going to be here, but we need the name of the list. List name. We also need the name of the field. Okay, with the field name. So now that we have the list name up here, we could go down here if it allows me to. And there we go. Create field AS XML. Now the headers, I'm just going to like paste in that. Okay, that's good. And if you guys wonder what I'm looking at the Perplexity thread that I shared with you guys. And then the body, I'm going to copy that directly from Perplexity. And that's what this looks like here. Now, field type, text. That's interesting. There's some fields that we want to be numbers or Booleans. So let's put in here, we probably need the display name. Then the column. Okay, display name equals new column. Name equals new column. Field name. Okay. And it's saying modify the schema XML in the body to define your field. The example above creates a text field named new column. You can adjust the field type, display name, other properties as needed. And then it linked me to this blog here. Interesting. And I don't want to read the whole thing right now. So let's see here. Here's some additional tips. Use JSON. Okay. So what I'm going to tell it to do is give me all the options for this guy. And okay, so I'm going to say provide much more detail for the body of this connector so that I know how to add other field types like number, yes, no, date, time, so on and so forth. Let's see what it comes up with. Okay, type number. You could add additional attributes to customize the number field. Now, I'm starting to remember I did a lot of this before. Ooh, choice. I hate choice. Okay, so it says number field. Then we've got yes, no, date, time, multi-line field. Okay, personal group. I recommend you stay away from complex types. A lot of times people don't listen to me the first time, but then they always have time to do it right the second time. All right, so let's add something in here for the types in our Power Apps application. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit save, and we'll need to come back here. Let's see, let me get rid of that. And I'm going to enter a custom value. The site address is that right there. Okay. And then field type. Okay. So I'm going to try to save this. Hopefully it doesn't complain. Something I don't like about flows is that you can't really save it unless there's like if there's an error, won't allow you to save. So it has to be it has to work in order for you to save it. But okay. What I want to do is have a drop down just like that. And I don't even know if I want that text box anymore. I'll take this text box. I'll put that here. Let me zoom in here. Let's see. Let's make the width like 300 and be done with it. And this guy will a blank there. Okay. So this will be the field name. I'm going to add in a label. Field name. And then we'll say field type. Okay. And I need to feel like I need to have another button here that builds a collection. Actually, you know, we could just do it right in here for now, but eventually probably put it in app formulas. Okay. So we're going to do some square brackets, which indicates a collection, not a table. They are similar, but they are different. So let's put in here field type. So I think I'm going to start off with single line of text. That's probably the most used. And I'm going to say sort order equals 1. Always want that to be at the top. Okay. What other types of things? Let's do a number. Field type. I'm going to say value type. And I'm going to call this string. Yeah. Okay. So do a comma there. And we'll have numeric number. This will be 2. Okay. And I'm still looking at this perplexity thing here. So we got to think about all these things like decimals, min max. Okay, let's go look at the next one here, which is yes, no, true, false. Boolean, actually that's going to be probably there. And I'll call this yes, no. So I'm trying to use in the field type what people are used to seeing in SharePoint. And then the value type, something that would make sense more to a developer. Okay, this will be number 3. And oh, we've got if it's required or not. Okay, so there's going to be a few more things that we need in here. I'm going to say container. Let's get a normal container going on here. And we'll set this thing to be FX light gray. That looks nice. And I don't want to look at that text box anymore right now. And then I'm going to make this bigger. Cut that. I'm going to make this bigger. And I'll make the drop shadow regular. And I'm going to paste into that. Okay. So we should probably add in a toggle. I'm going to go with the classic toggle. And we'll call this TOG or, yeah, TOG required. The default will be off. And then we have, oh my goodness, true text required. Now we're probably going to have to increase the width of that. And then we've got, oh my goodness, stop. Oh, false text, not required. And I wish label position. All right, if I made this 200, how's this going to look? Required, not required. Okay. So we'll look at that. What are the types of things? We have a date time field. So do you guys like this? Me showing you how to build out a flow of how to create columns. I've got to the point where I'm tired of creating all these lists and columns all over. And then when you need to deploy, you're like, oh, I got to do all this all over again, you know? And then there are tools out there like ShareGate. Go look at that. That's like a $5,000 license. Okay. So we've got date time. And that's going to be daytime as well. I mean, date time with no space. Now, what I do want to add in here is something called SharePoint code. Okay, for single line of text. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about, what I'm looking at here. So there's the Boolean. There's date time. There's choice. Don't recommend you use choice. This is multi-line text. Now, what about, I don't see single line of text anywhere. So let me go up where they actually had me create. Type text. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to say text here. Put a comma there. Okay, for a number, yeah, it's just called number. And then for yes, no, it actually is called Boolean. Date time, it's date time. Now we might want a multi-line here. Copy that. I'm sort of digging the music. You guys still hear it? Field type. Multi. Line text. And sometimes it could be called text area. In SharePoint, it's called a note. 1, 2, 3. This should be 4. This should be 5. And I think that is all of the simple types that I recommend using. Okay. So that will be passed in to the flow. Field create. Let me look at anything else. We had display name, num lines. I don't think that really matters. Looking at all these fields. Min and max. I think I'm just going to go with what we have here, and we could always expand on this later. Now, whenever we add a field like this, I want to have a gallery, a blank vertical gallery here. Okay. And let's give this a dark gray color. Oh, no. And we'll say color.white. Okay, here we go. And we'll put a button in here. Add field. And I was thinking about just adding to a collection, and this would display the collection, but I guess we could just hit this button for now and go create them. I don't want any of that. Let's go back into our flow and make sure we're looking good over there. All right. List name, field name. We'll say field type. Ooh, no, I want a Boolean. Yes, no. There we go. we'll say required or is required. Okay. Don't want any spaces in there. And so we have the type, we have the name, if it's required. I think we might be good here. Field type. Display name, I'm going to use field name for that. Required is going to be is required. The name, I'm going to say field name. Okay. That doesn't look bad, huh? Now I do want to do some type of a response. So let's do a Power Apps. And I'm not sure what information I want to return, but yeah, I could, I want to delete that now. Okay, delete. No, it's not going to allow me. That's odd. Get out of here. Wow, okay. Get rid of it that way. New step, and I'll say Power Apps, respond. And I want to give it a yes, no. Was success. And we could go in here and say true for now. I'm going to save it. Okay, I think we're good. Okay, I'm going to exit out of there. And I am going to call this guy. Now I'm going to do an update context. Whenever I call a flow, I always have a variable that's going to catch. I'm going to call this flow response. And then I'm going to say SharePoint field create run. I hate this. Look at this. Text 1, text 2. Yeah, right. I'm going to bring this guy back up. It should actually give us the parameters, right? That would be nice. Oh yeah, it's over here. Okay, so I'm gonna do a little screenshot here so I know what should be going in and what order. Okay. We're gonna run this. Here is the txt. Oh, what happened? Field name. This is going to be DRP field. No. Field type. We'll call this tog required. Okay. Now the first parameter is the SharePoint URL. So I'm going to use that one right there. Text. Okay, so that's the first thing. The next one will be list name. Right here, DRP lists. I feel like that should be a part in here. Seems like it should be in here. 300. Let's make this 300 as well. And I want to copy and paste that. Put that right there. Now I want to select all these and move them down a little bit. We'll probably give it a little more room. Yeah, put this field down here, this button down here. Okay. The list dot selected text dot should be value, but okay. Why don't we just say selected dot title? No, it's display name. Okay. All right, this is the second parameter. The third parameter is field name. Txt field name dot text. The next one down is field type. No, it's going to be drp field type dot selected dot SharePoint code. What SharePoint calls it. And the last one is, hey, is this required or not? So it's going to be TOG required dot value. That should set us up. Okay. I'm wondering if we have all the, if we actually really have all the fields here. So we should always have a title and an ID in all of these because this is SharePoint. Okay. So let's look at car. So this is not anywhere near being done here. So let's bring this up. And I think what we can do is I could get a full listing of all these and add them quickly. Yeah, thanks for letting me know, Dustin. Sometimes my camera does that. It's really weird. Let me try to change what video it is. And then change it back, maybe. That's weird. Yeah, if you guys give me just 1 second, hopefully I'll get it back, get it working here. There we go. All right. All right, so we've got car here. And what do we need? We need, so the title is going to, that's staff. I want car. So title. Now we have SQL Server types, right? So if we say varchar, that's like a single line of text, varchar 255. So we'll do, we need a year, which will be number. We can make it int. After a year, we need make. Single line of text. So I'm just going to copy this varchar because that's what that means. Make model. Color. Single line of text. That's fine. Boom. Tag. Say then. What else we got? Notes for a car. And we can put, let's make a varchar as well. Notes, and then we need to have a customer ID. Big int would be fine for that. And then modified, created by, and modified by, that's all going to be in SharePoint automatically. Okay. So there we go. I'm going to save this. And what I'm going to do, go to File. And then I am going to export. I have to be a pro to get JSON. Let's go with SQL Server. All right, we'll do a save as, and that's a good place for that. And I'm going to open that up on a different screen, and I'm going to open that up with Notepad++. That'll work. All right, so this is what we get, guys. Zoom out a little bit. Create table. Hey, here's all of our fields. Create table car. Sets this up as a primary key. Oh, it gives us the whole thing. Okay, so this is the one that we want right now. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in, if it will let me, okay, go back over here, and I had a text box sitting around here. And I'll make this visible, and I'll move it all the way to the top. I don't know what happened to my music. Gotta have music. Okay. Okay. Maybe turn that down a little bit. There we go. All right, so now what I can do is I can run this, and I can paste that in there. So I can just look at it. Okay, so we're going to go into the car, because that's what we decided to do first, right? Get out of that. Yeah, it was car. I need to rename this. That's not the field name. That is the list name. Okay, so if we go over here, we'll see car, and you notice it already has a title, so we don't have to do that. Now, what I do like to do is I like to go in here and make sure ID is our primary key. So I always like to see that there, front and center. So we don't need ID, and we don't need title. So I'm going to say we definitely want year. The year is going to be a number. I don't like to have anything required in my app, so you won't see me turn that on unless it's a primary key or something. Okay, now I wonder if that actually worked. List settings. Look at that. There's the year. Isn't that cool, guys? All right, so that's done. We'll do make. And that's going to be single line of text. Add. Let's make model. Oh, this is so much nicer than working with the SharePoint interface. Oh, right there. That's worth the whole live stream. You guys sitting around for 2 hours with me. This is awesome. All right, so let's make sure we got color over there. Make sure all these are coming in right. Okay, so we got Okay, there's the, it's adding them in a weird order. That's wild. Okay, used an item. This is really strange. Okay. So I wanted to find out if we had already done color. And color is not there. Okay, so let's go ahead and hit this button. There's color. Tag. Then the notes, I want that to be multi-lines of text. And then that we also need to have a custom ID, and that's going to be a number. Custom ID is the last one we added. Let's do a refresh here. Yeah, it's all here, guys. Isn't this awesome? Notes, multiple lines of text. Now, this is something I always got to make sure of. Plain text. I hate that rich text. I always want it to be plain text. So it's good to see that that's the default. Guys, I'm excited. This is great. Okay. Let's go. We got customer. Okay, guys. So this is what I'm looking at from here. Okay. We got, let's go down and let's do our customers next. So here is the scheme of that. I'm going to make sure it's all set up in Draw SQL, right? And as you can see, it's not. Email address. Should be it. Save that. And we'll go over here and we'll do this thing again. It'd sort of be cool to get JSON for this whole thing, give that to Power Apps and like pass that into a flow and have that flow create everything all at once. That would be really nice. Instead of calling the flow repeatedly, shouldn't we create a collection and then patch? Absolutely. Sure. Yeah. A little bit at a time. You know what I mean? So when I do a live stream, I got to think about, you know, a lot of factors of, you know, what people are going to be interested in, what's good for the app, you know, what's going to make it easiest for people to digest it, you know. And what I might do is I might end up creating lots of flows, like levels of flows, you know, so flows are calling each other and all that type of stuff. I've had a lot of time to really think about that and design right. So eventually it will, if you look at these screens, these are very rough sketches of a screen. This isn't ready for prime time for users to be using it. So there's going to be a lot of things that that I sort of refactor and improve. Absolutely. There's a lot of room for improvement here. And my toddler is trying to bust through the door. Okay, let me go back here. And did I get that? Did it download it again? I don't remember. Let's try this again. I think there's a button at the bottom. There we go. All right, we'll save that and then move that around. Okay, and I think I've got, do I have Notepad++ down here? Should update it, yep. I guess that's it. Is that really it? There's first name, last name. We can put their full name and title. Okay, very good. So X Lucy says, or give Copilot that JSON and create an app from the schema. Do you really think? I sort of doubt Copilot could handle that. I'd be interested in seeing it try. Probably say, oh, what? And the thing is, it's going to want to, Copilot's going to want to create it in Dataverse because it's like the only data source it's aware of. So now I have found other AI platforms to be very good at generating things and stuff, but I haven't seen, I mean, let me just ask it. Can you create all my SharePoint lists for me? Let's see what it says. It's working on it. There you go. That's what Copilot can do. All right. So I've got those fields and I'm going to run this. I'm going to paste this here. Okay, make sure we're in the right list here. So we're in customer now. There's first name and they are going to be single line of text. I'm going to add that. Go over to last name. It's going to be the same thing. Phone, paste that in there. Notes, that is going to be multiple lines of text. And then we also have email. Wow, I love this. So much easier creating fields. So much nicer. Is there any other data source? One ring to rule them all. So I've created this project called a schema builder. It keeps track of all my apps, what tenant they're in, what environment they're in. Actually can hold the MS app file and all this stuff. And then one of the things I track is what data source that it uses. So 70% of people, of my viewers, they use SharePoint as a data source. That's why I always try to use SharePoint. Yeah, always cool stuff when you could beat AI. But SharePoint seems to be the best. It's definitely not the best data source, but if you don't have a premium license, that's the best thing you're going to get. If you do have a premium license, I would recommend either Dataverse. That's the best data source for the Power Platform because it was designed for the Power Platform. My personal favorite is SQL Server. Got a lot of flexibility with store procedures and views and such, but whenever you use Copilot, it's going to want to use Dataverse. Okay, so now I need to go over and make sure that my customer table has got all these fields in it. Now it's not going to show us in the view here, but if we go over and look at the list settings, they should all be there. Yeah, email was the last one. We got notes. Yeah, it's all there. And that's awesome. What about Power Apps for Teams? Yeah, that uses Dataverse. And it comes with some restrictions. I haven't done anything within the Teams environment. I know you can embed your Canvas apps that you build. You can embed those in Teams, but you could use Dataverse for Teams and you don't need that premium license. That is true. But a lot of people don't like that environment. I don't know. So I have a premium license, so I don't use that, but that is a way to get around the licensing. But a lot of people, um, Dustin says Dataverse for Teams DV Lite. Yeah. And let me adjust my AC here. There we go. Okay, so that has been created, and okay, we're making some progress here, guys. Now the next table we want to go is in my list would be answers. Let's go find answers or answer. Now it looks like when I set up this ERD diagram, I had Dataverse in mind for whatever reason. If you guys look at this page here, if you go over to YouTube playlists and videos for checklists or inspections and quizzes and polls, checklists, quizzes, surveys, and questionnaires. There's all. So this is the 5th in this series. So that's all there for you guys as well. Okay. So it was probably either of these last two that we did we set up this ERD diagram. Okay. So I'm going to modify this quite a bit, and I'm going to make the first thing ID. And this is a lookup column over to question. Okay, so this would be just simply question ID. Again, is fine, but we do need a title, and that will be varchar. And I can drag that up to the top where it belongs with the ID if it allows me to. There we go. Category ID. Okay. We got answer value. There's question text. Okay, we have that there. This should be inspection ID. And we have inspection answer. I'm just going to call it answer value. And we called it answer value. Yeah, that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. Value, I'm going to call it varchar. And then we've got answer description. I mean, we could say answer long. So say they answered it, but then you wanted to like enter some more. You want to have like a little text box for them to type in more stuff. That could be the longer one. And then we've got a category. Well, we should have question category ID. And we'll say bigot for that. Well, we have a category ID up there. Okay, well, I'm going to take that out. And that will be it for our answers. We have question text, inspection ID, which will be, yeah, inspection ID. We got answer value, status text. I'm not sure what that was used for. Status text. What we could do is we could go to this application and actually see what's in there for answers. This is fantastic. Thank you for taking the time to showcase it. Very cool. Well, thanks for finding an interest in it. Some people probably find this really boring. Okay, so we've got inspection ID, and we got an answer value, status text. Okay, now I remember what was going on in the category. Okay, now this is one of my first Power Apps that I did, so you're gonna find some weird crusty stuff in here that I know how to handle, that I know how to do better things now. Okay, so we got the answer. Let's go ahead and finish up all these things here. So we got categories. Categories should be very simple. Come on, let's go in here. We got title. It's gonna be varchar, and we're gonna drag that up. And here we're gonna say ID, big int. That looks great. All right, let's go look at question. Well, I don't have a good. That's odd. Make sure I've got my. Answer questions. Well, it's right here. Okay. Yeah, this is it. Okay, so the first one should be ID. Question text. I'm going to put that in title. Varchar. And then bring that up. Category lookup. I sort of like just to put the category name in there. I mean, let's sort order. And the question is, do we want to do the same thing over here for the answer? For the category. Just put category as varchar. Now that is a that's not necessarily the proper way of doing it with database normalization, but if you look at the raw data, it's just much easier to look at. Okay. Anything more on question? We have the sort order. We got the category. We got the category sort order. That's interesting. Yeah, that'd probably be good to have in there. And that should be it. Now the question is, can the whole question fit into 255? So we'll say full question text, and we'll make that like varchar, much longer. That'll be multiple lines of text. Okay. Inspections. Okay, let's go deal with this. We've got ID. And then we've got, well, that's going to be car ID. And I don't think I'm going to implement a pre and a post inspection. It's just going to be one inspection. I'll just sort of simplify the requirements. It was just specific for the client that I did it for. And then we will do, I'm going to call this staff backdoor ID. And then customer ID. inspection type. That's interesting. We could have whole like categories of inspections. We could. Let's shoot for the minimal viable product for now. All right, so we got inspection. Now, if we don't finish this today, guys, we could have this next Friday, the workshop be on this. But I'd like to get most of this done. I mean, we haven't really worked on the screens yet, have we? Yeah, we might do that. As long as you guys like that idea. It's the video content I create is all based on what you guys want to, learn about, especially my accelerator students. Okay. Let's make sure this ERD diagram is all set up right here. Okay, we got our manager. We got a manager ID. Okay. Let's say we need a manager ID that will approve the inspection or not. Yeah, it'd be nice to finish the app. Yeah. Now, Kenneth, do you mean during a workshop? Or just pick it up every Saturday morning live stream and work on it from there? The workshops are great because I stop and I want you guys to like follow along and I answer your questions and all that type of stuff. We have breaks and it's meant for you guys to do some of the, be doing the work as well. So sometimes it's nice to do things in that format. Now for the staff, I just want to visit this real quick. We need ID and we'll add a column for title, varchar. And let's put a few things in here that we know we're going to need. But we do have it all right here. So I might just keep it simple for now. Okay. Manager ID should be a lookup to not a lookup, but I don't know that I like that song. There we go. All right, so we got a many to one. So we have staff inspector ID, customer ID that goes over here to customer, inspection type, manager ID. Okay. And then we might want to have a place for notes. Let's make that text. Yeah, Kenneth says this is a workshop. So Kenneth, you're very familiar with the workshop. So for those of you who have been to the workshops, take it from those that have attended. They really seem to like them. The format is nice for learning, and we take our time and go over all the details that we need to go over. Okay, so we got notes. And then perhaps we want to know when the inspection was completed. And we're not going to put a Boolean there. We're going to say date time. Okay, so if it's blank, we know it's not completed. Date time will be like, okay, not only do we know it's completed, but we know when. Okay, and those are all the fields that I want for that. Staff, and we have customer. I think we're good on all this. Something that we should do for staff is say is manager. Okay, I'm gonna make that bit for Boolean. That should be fine for now. Okay. I'm going to save this. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to export it. SQL Server, start export. I'm just going to open it. Oh my. Okay. All right, so we've got the car. I believe. Then we did the customer. And now let's work on answer. Okay. I can never go back to creating columns and SharePoints now. I'm now spoiled. So great. I think what I will do is start cutting so I know which ones I've done. Category is going to be single line of text. Boom. Question text is going to be, I hope I made question ID a number. Okay, question text is going to be single line of text. And this is going to be number. Answer value will be single line of text. And then answer long will be multi-line. Okay, now let me go see if question ID. Yeah, did it. Okay, and so along with single text, create a number, expression ID is number, blah, 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 question ID, question text, title, everything looks good. Fantastic. All right, question category. It's going to be really simple. All we need, I'll show you what I have here. Yeah. It's already going to have an ID and a title, so I'm going to copy that. Make sure that we're in question category, which we are. Okay. Sort order, and there's going to be a number. All right. What about the question table? Go into settings for the question table. Nothing's been created. Okay. Single line of text. Question. Love it. This is great. All right, we got staff. You know what I want to do for staff is I want to grab all this stuff. Save, export. You guys still here with me? App user. All right. And we'll say staff. That's what we called it, staff. And I'm going to go into settings there. Cut. Single line of text. Alternate email. Okay. First name. Last name. Intro ID will be single line of text. Photo base 64. Multiple lines of text. Okay. HR notes. Multiple lines of text. IT notes. Darren, do you also prefer Perplexity over ChatGPT? If I need searching, now of course my video camera is doing something weird again. So allow me to mess with that for a second. That's so annoying. Okay, let me try this again here. Nope. There we go. I do use Claude for programming. I was actually doing something this morning, Kenneth. I found this. Go over to GitHub. This thing is amazing. So you go over here and you do a search for Claude Engineer, I think it's called. And you can interact with Claude Sonnet within VS Code. And it's amazing. It's just amazing. I already hit my daily cap for API usage. I built out a Windows app that will download any YouTube video. I thought that'd be a cool little, and it did it. It did it well. It's pretty good. So I'm starting to use this here. And I told this thing to create a C# version of this too, because they wrote it in Python. Okay. We got pen. We got office location. Department. Job title. Hopefully I'm not going too fast for it. Guess I'll find out really soon if I am. So last one I did was manager ID. And there it is. Okay. Looks good to me. Yeah. What else do we have? We have... Nope, that's not the right one. We do have an inspection. So it's actually called inspection. And I need a car ID that's numeric. And I'm just going to call this Spectre ID. Completed. Take time. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay, what else do we have? I think that's it. Now, you guys ready for the really exciting part of this? We'll go find SharePoint. I don't know why they make it so hard to find this. Checklist inspection app. Answer car, customer, inspection question, category, staff. Boom. Nice. All right, what should we do next? We've got all of those. Now, if we look at our application we have here, we need some good test data in here, don't we? So I'll say we, I might go through, I'll use Mockaroo to come up with a lot of the test data and share it with you guys, and maybe have a slick way of importing it really quick so it's automated. That would be nice too, wouldn't it? And then I know in our multimedia, we have all of these things in here. Okay. So I'm excited about this. Okay. So if everybody is still interested in this project, we'll make next Friday's workshop to be about it. Okay. Let's make sure that everybody's got the links and everything. Hopefully everybody's a part of the free school community. Okay. So you'll see on right here today. Feel free to post any questions here. Okay, I'm going to share this link with you guys. But something I want to share with you, I know you guys will be interested in this, is the playlist that you guys might want to look at. If you really like this app, look at these. So this is the last one. So go through it and watch some of these to get an idea of stuff you might want to build in yours, any extra features and such. So what I'll do is at the very end of this video, you'll see a link to this one here. I put that there. Kenneth says, let's go. So this is cool because any type of application that you build will, you might want to have a little questionnaire, a quiz, a test, something like that. So I have a question for you guys. So until then, what video of mine should you watch next? So you're going to like this video next. Let's see if they're right. Or you can select this playlist, which I've selected for you based on the content you're currently watching. Guys, gotta hurry, click one of them. Otherwise, YouTube's going to autoplay some other video.